Robe is on location in Centurion, South Africa, with lighting designer Renaldo Berg. So, how do you know this location?
I know this location because I drive past it every day, and I admire it, the infrastructure of South Africa's power supplier, Eskom, if it's working, and I thought it's something to show off to the rest of the world.
Definitely.
Yes.
And just for a note, we've actually had no load shedding for the last couple of months, which is a miracle.
And let's hope it stays.
We're going to take a little, do a little rewind actually, and take a look back at when you started your lighting career. Well, actually, when you first got interested in doing lights. I mean, was there some kind of moment that sparked your interest?
Definitely, yes.
Tell me about that.
So I was enrolled at Tikkies for law. I was going to study law. And my stepbrother does this. He's still in the industry. And I've always seen him do interesting things. I never actually noticed or, saw. And until one time we met up with him and he was at a show and from the warehouse to the show, and I thought, okay, this is interesting. And then the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. And I wasn't sure about law and the corporate life. I said to my folks, listen, let me give a go. I had to write tests and stuff, so I studied this. It's called now Entertainment Technology.
Right. Was this still at the same college?
It's the same. It was a college. It's now the Tshwane University of Technology. And I started it, and I developed. The first year was interesting because we, not only did we, it wasn't so much creative. It was theatre history, costumes, textiles, all of it combined, theatrical course.
Sure.
And as I specialised in sound and lighting, I realised, okay, I like this.
So was there a first big break or a significant show that kind of set you on your career path? One
of the big, definite up there moments where I was working at a company. The company, they actually gave me a bursary in university, and I started working for them whilst studying.
Yeah.
And they sent me to Japan.
Oh wow.
To do a theatrical show there, South African produced show that was touring in Japan.
And you were lighting it?
I was lighting it. And at that time, I think I was 20 years old or somewhere there. At that stage, I knew about drawings. I could do some cool, pizza box designs at the time. And I had to ask one of my friends, which is in theatre, to please help out with the CAD drawings and paperwork, sheets, patching, all of that. We got it together, sent it off, got to Japan, and it was absolutely amazing. I think that was definitely one of the biggest, coolest experiences of my life.
Currently you work in a mix of different disciplines and genres. You do quite a lot of corporate events and also music. Was there anything that's specifically taken you in that direction, or is that just the way it's worked out? No,
not really. That's the way it's worked out. And the companies I worked for over the years were, big in corporate, the corporate market. And also I was fortunate enough to work with some other companies that was big in the music and, the television. So I think throughout the years, building relationships, building a clientele that allows, I can do corporates and television and music festivals at the same time, and which is, I really enjoy the diversity of it.
I understand you've been involved in some training and teaching initiatives in other African countries.
Yes, that's correct.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, I mean, some of my clients, they do a lot of African shows, and we travel together, and we formed a little team that travels to all these African countries, and they've always encouraged us, to use the opportunity not just to go and do a show, but also to share the knowledge, and if I take a step back, is the reason I'm here is the guys, my seniors, shared their knowledge with me and showed me the ropes. If it wasn't for them, how would I have known? And it's empowering. It's for people to, I'm still a young designer, I'm still a young person, and for people older than me to listen to my advice and appreciate that is absolutely, I can't explain the feeling, so we've embraced it. So some of the projects we've actually been invited to Africa.
In which countries have you done training?
So Nigeria, we've done some training. It was informal training. Like we've been invited to do a show,
yeah,
but also been asked to teach the guys. We've been formally invited to Zambia for the ZNBC, which is their broadcasting facility. The involvement in the energy is really, it drives you, yeah. And I was recently in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, also been invited there to go and give like these informal trainings, you know. It's I can't give a certificate or so, but you know, you look at the result of the guys and they still WhatsApp you on a weekly basis. Hey, look, I'm doing this show and I've used your skill of this trick or whatever, and loving it. So yeah,
that must be fantastic to get that kind of feedback.
I tell you, it is amazing. Yeah.
What's the best advice you would give to a young person eyeing up an industry career?
So I definitely say be respectful, be mindful, be a sponge around senior people, and that's been doing it for a while. Yes, the younger generation now, they are very much clued up with technology. They adapt to desks, they know, you know, all these programmers. But at the end of the day, if you don't light the stage properly, or you're not going to light a show with 200 effects. And so it comes down to understanding and listening to a senior designer or a senior person, how to light, how to, you know, just take advice. Don't be a know-it-all.
Highlights and memorable moments from your career so far. I know there's been many. Are there a couple you can share with us here today?
Definitely, like we said, the Japan trip was unbelievable. I mean, I don't think I'll ever forget that. I was fortunate enough to travel with a local band, Jeremy Loops, to Europe for 2 months. And we went through Germany, Netherlands, Austria. At some point, we ended our big show was at the Roundhouse in London. That was definitely a highlight of my career. It was a small touring show, don't get me wrong, but still to have the opportunity to see that, it's not just touristy stuff. You see, you know, we were on a nightliner, we would tour bus, we were with a trailer, and every night was a setup in the snow, cold, you know, so you see these big companies do it, you do it yourself, you're like, okay, cool. Also being an assistant or assistant tech to the big designers on big TV productions, and then you get asked to actually design that TV production, you do it by yourself. One of the highlights was working alongside Gearhouse and Tim Dunn on the Travis Scott tour, the Castle Light Unlocks. That was, you know, seeing from paperwork with Tim up into the venues and the big stage go roofs, and that was a big learning curve. It was a big moment of where, like, I want to do this, you know.
What do you most love about your work?
It's the planning. Yes, obviously the design it's my passion, you know, creating something that's in my head that I'm putting out there for people to see. And not only the people, yes, the production people, the clients, but the audience that has not experienced a similar thing. You know, if you have a moment, a big hit, and you see hands, cell phones, and you hear the cheer, that energy, that raw energy you get there is priceless, and that's really why. For me, being a freelancer now, doing my own thing, working for alongside other people, working for other companies, really it's meeting new people, location, you know, we get to see everything. You know, we travel a lot, yes, not so much these days now that I'm a family man, but just it's not the same thing over and over and over, so it's very diverse. I think that's what I enjoy most.
Sure, yeah.
And every show is different, every setup is different, you know, so it's never, yes, you follow the same rules, you do the same thing, but it's in a different way, so really interesting.
What's great about living and working in South Africa?
Look, for me, I was fortunate enough to travel some of the world, Europe and that sort of place, and work there. Middle East, I lived there for a bit. And South Africa, we've got some sort of freedom, we've got an energy here. You know, we don't have the budgets of the international, but we do have the technology, we do have the skill set, and for me it's my home. And we've worked and built relationships with people, you know, we have a small family, the people you work with, so you don't need anything else.
I also feel, I think, because the budgets are quite often squeezed here, that people are incredibly resourceful.
Yes, you're forced to, you know, think outside of the box. What's quite cool, and I'm glad you mentioned that, is we keep on referencing and watching what the internationals are doing, and we want to implement it here with a third or quarter of the budget. So it makes you think, how will I achieve that with this? So there are situations where you walk away quite proud and say, okay, we pulled this off and it looked massive, and it looked cool, it all worked out. So yeah, definitely it's got its challenges, but I love it.